Hey, today the community manager revealed some news about the Railgun that some fans are not too happy about. We'll go over the new buff, talk about the napalm barrage, and a support team member hinted that they're doing something special with the destroyer. There's so much more to discuss. Please support the channel by tapping the like button below, subscribing, and turning on notifications. We're going to start with the Railgun news first. The community manager has confirmed with the developers at Arrowhead about the overall damage because some were a little confused by the Railgun buff video that was revealed last week. This player right here, amongst many in the Helldivers 2 Discord, wanted clarification on the Railgun damage numbers. With that said, Twinbeard was able to ask the devs, and they relayed the information to the community manager, and he wrote, "Okay, I got a reply. It's the first option, the mini damage one, to quote my distinguished colleague. In other words, unless some has had too little coffee this morning, the intent for the Railgun after the patch tomorrow should be 600 damage, 225 durable damage on safe, scaling up to 1500 damage, and 562 durable damage on max unsafe." This didn't settle well with one particular member on the Discord, and I'll be honest, I don't think there's a problem with the stats. However, some may feel differently about it. On paper, it sounds pretty good still, and the previews we all saw last week seemed good as well. A member responded to Twinbeard's post stating, "We are glad you clarified it, even though it's the answer we didn't want to hear." The community manager saw this post and responded back with, "Even so, also do consider other things we haven't mentioned yet could affect this. Off the top of my head, there's armor, durability, HP, both on you and enemies, how much damage enemies do, etc. Yes, Railgun seems to be hitting pretty damn hard post-patch, but again, other things could mitigate or even that out." He's not wrong at all because there are a lot of factors that will come into play when using the Railgun in tomorrow's patch. Sure, it might affect enemies differently, however we don't know how effective it will be beyond what we saw in the dev's buff preview video. I'm not too sure if some of us are still in the doom and gloom mindset. Anyways, there's a member who replied to Twinbeard's post asking, "Just wondering, what exactly does durable damage mean? Is it how strong it is against armor targets?" Or his response was, "It would assume so, yes. Of course, other things could affect this as well that we haven't talked about yet. But in terms of hitting, it seems to be hard." Overall, I think the Railgun is going to be amazing tomorrow, as well as the other buffs, that are included. I believe the developers have been working tirelessly to improve the game, as well as resolving some of those pesky bugs that are currently in the game. Speaking of which, what about some of the bugs and major problems that a lot of us have been experiencing since the last patch? Have the developers done anything in terms of patching these bugs? From what I've read, yes, they've looked into some of the game-breaking bugs and have patched a few. With that said, there's a member in the Helldivers 2 Discord who asked if the developers have done anything about the bugs that have been persistent since day one. So Twinbeard saw this post and responded with, "Hi, as far as I know, there aren't that many or frequent game-breaking bugs left, but of course, the experience between players will differ some. What ones are the most frequent or frustrating ones for you?" We recently, for the so-called 60-day plan, went through the known issues and bugs list and made an updates priority list for them. So they're being worked on and ticked off the list as we speak, even if not all of them will be fixed right away, of course. Also, sorry if you're having issues. I know how frustrating that can be. Perfect. This is what I want to know as well because, to be honest, as great as it is to see all the buffs and changes, I was worried about whether or not they had any plans on patching some of the known issues. So now that we know they've looked at the list and have patched a few of the bugs, that's great news. Now there's no word on which ones they have resolved, so we'll have to see which ones have been patched in tomorrow's update. Either way, it's awesome to know they've not only buffed some of the weapons, but have also patched some of the known issues. Continuing along, the next question Twinbeard replied to was from a member on the Helldivers 2 Discord who raised a concern about the variety in weapon models, questioning if we might see new designs for primary weapons in the future, or if the trend of using similar models with different ammo types would persist. He basically said there's a new mag design for the Breaker, and we already knew the Breaker is going to receive a buff. However, we have more news on it because the community member wrote, "I don't know in terms of weapons per se. I do know that there's a high level of detail in HD2, and there's a lot of stuff many don't notice, but some sure do and appreciate it. I know, for example, that for the Breaker, I think, but not 100% sure, the change in ammo resulted in the gun using another mag now in the patch. I, for one, like that a lot. Sure, it takes some resources, but attention to detail is nice." Well, if he's correct, I think that's pretty cool they've paid attention to details and changed the Breaker's magazine. On that note, there are some details on the Commando that I didn't even know existed. Yesterday, while I was on the Automaton side, there was something quite interesting that happened. The Commando was frozen mid-air, which allowed me to take a closer look at the design. And you can see there are some instructions on how to use the Commando, as well as a warning about the backblast. It says, beware of backblast 2 to 5 meters. Now, if I understand correctly, wouldn't the backblast essentially be like the rocket sentry turret, where if you're behind it, it would ragdoll you or, push you back a little bit? If that's the case, I don't believe the Commando pushes back players that are nearby, although it would be hilarious if they made some adjustments to that exact weapon in the next update. Okay, let's move along because a support team member might have hinted that we'll see some changes to the destroyer's terminal. If you haven't noticed, which is pretty hard not to, the terminals that are on the opposite side of the loadout terminal are not available to use, and there's really no use for them at the current moment. However, this might have some use very soon. Someone on the Reddit posted this exact image, essentially questioning what's the purpose of these terminals. Surprisingly, the support team member posted 2 comments, one with the eyes looking emoji, and then another post where she wrote, "We have some plans for it." She also included a winky face emoji, so what's the purpose? Some have thought that it'll play a part in some sort of voting system, yet I believe it'll be a terminal that you'll be able to use to check out information on the automatons, terminates, as well as the illuminate. Basically, it's going to be a way to check out some of the lore and get a better understanding of some of the enemies. I really believe that's what it'll be used for. If I'm right, I cannot wait because it's something I've been craving for some time, just to know a little bit more about the lore. If you've played the very first Helldivers game, then you know already that the spaceship in there had a terminal of some sort where you could read about some of the enemies. Hopefully that's what they're planning with these terminals, as well as some sort of comm system to allow us to give feedback in-game instead of going to the Discord or filling out some sort of form. Alright, that aside, we've got some great news about the Napalm Barrage. We've done it. We've taken over the 2 planets before the major order has ended, and now it's available to purchase on the destroyer. So head over to the terminal and pick up the Napalm right away. I have to say, I'm absolutely excited about it because when we had access to it on the terminate planets, I should say temporary access, my first impression was that it was amazing, and I had such a blast using it. Now we all can use it whenever we want. Moving on to some more good news, the developers at Arrowhead Game Studios have improved the 500 kg bomb. They've increased the damage radius, as they've mentioned on the Helldivers 2 Discord, and wrote, buff number 7, 500 kg bomb changes. Eagle 500 kg bomb explosion radius is now increased to match visuals better. Just sit back and enjoy the show. Sadly, today is the last buff preview, but the good news is that tomorrow we finally get the chance to look at the patch notes and see all the changes they've made in game. Now, with that being said, let's check out the full developer video that was posted on X. What I'll do here is give you guys the preview, of course, and then you can catch me towards the end so I can share my thoughts on the buff.
My name is Johan Pilestedt.
And I'm Niklas Manborg.
Today we're diving into the patch notes of Helldivers 2. The 500 kilo bomb radius.
It's back, baby. No, wait. It never was here.
Ah.
It is now what it's supposed to be.
The 500 kilo bomb radius is as the visual explosion says that it should be. So it'll blow up a lot of enemies.
Big booms should boom big.
This right here is going to make a big difference when it comes down to using this stratagem again. Now, I like this a lot because previously, as you guys know, or currently I should say, it's not that great. It actually is terrible with the explosion radius. Sometimes you can throw it down and it doesn't do crap to the chargers or even the Biletines. So now, this time around, it should be a lot better. Now, should they have increased the damage instead of the radius? I don't believe so. The current problem is that the radius is too small. It barely does any damage to a group of enemies, or even to larger ones like the chargers, as I mentioned. So now, my question is this a great change towards the 500 kg bomb, or should they have increased the damage? I think the radius is just fine, at least from the preview there, and it's got to be great in game. So yeah, post a comment down below, post your responses, and let me know what you think. We've also got word about an issue that's currently going on within Helldivers. Now, if you guys right now are experiencing crashes or some sort of issue like that on Steam specifically, so if you're on PlayStation, it's not going to help. But right here, B Vitamin wrote, Try this. Press the window key plus R at the same time to open the run tool. Enter %app data %. Enter the Arrowhead folder, then Helldivers 2. Open the user settings.config file. If you are asked what a program you would like to use to open it, select a text editor like Notepad. After opening, press Ctrl F and search for adapter_index. If adapter_index equals 1, then change it to 0. If it is already 0, then change it to 1. Save and close the file. So B Vitamin also mentioned that if this doesn't work, you can also just go ahead and go over to the Zendesk and send a message there, and they might be able to help you out. Personally, I haven't experienced any sort of crashing as of late, but I know a lot of people have, both on PC and PlayStation. Not entirely sure what's going on with that situation, but I do know it's been going on for quite some time, I think since day one, but hopefully that has been resolved in the next patch, which is tomorrow, and if so, I'll let you guys know exactly what's going on with that precisely. Not only did the support team members post that guide, but they've also given us another workaround for connection issues. For instance, if you're having trouble connecting with your friends on Steam, they've provided some steps. I think this is going to help out a lot of you just in case these issues are not resolved by tomorrow. So right here, support team member Roberts posted this and wrote, "Issues with connecting to your friends? This is the current workaround. Go to https://steamstats.us. All users in the party need to change Steam regions. Tutorial on how to, which by the way, I'll link that down below. If you still have some issues, then change regions again until resolved. Side note, it looks like Sydney is the most stable region right now, but that may change. Preferably choose one closer to you first. If this does not work, then try step 2. Open a command prompt, Windows key plus R, type CMD, press enter. In the command prompt, do the following. Type ipconfig/release and press enter. Type ipconfig/renew and press enter. And lastly, he says type ipconfig flush DNS and press enter. If this doesn't help, then what I recommend is going over to Zendesk, specifically Arrowhead Zendesk, and sending in a support ticket. Then hopefully they'll be able to help you out with that. With all that being said, this is your Helldivers 2 news. If you guys would like to be featured in the next video, all you have to do is comment down below. Now, what we're going to do is check out those top 3 comments. The first comment is by xxrage_hyperxxx 1356. The paywall thing is hilarious because I got like 1600 super credits right now from just playing. I haven't been going out of my way for them. This comment right here is referring to the video 2 days ago about how there was an article about how the newest Warbond is going to be locked behind a paywall because of the stratagems or whatnot. Definitely check it out if you haven't already. The second comment is by Error KV7NC. You good? You sound tired or sad in this video. Now, right there, okay guys, yesterday, or why do I keep trying to say yesterday? Anyways, 2 days ago, I had created a video and, basically sounded a little bit down in the dumps, I guess. But I wasn't. I was just really tired, guys. I created a video, I think it was 2 in the morning or something like that, and then woke up at 6 in the morning to finish the video. So I sounded absolutely out of it. So that is why. And last but not least, the third comment is by Saying the Cryptic. I just want the Eruptor to one-shot Hive Guards, Spewers, and Broods again. Taking an Eruptor for mid-tier enemies and Stalwart for everything else was some of the most fun I've ever had in this game before they gutted it. Well, there you go. Those are the top 3 comments. Thank you guys so much for commenting in the video, as well as you guys that are currently subscribed. I appreciate the support so much. Even if you're not subscribed, I appreciate you stopping by. If you guys would like to be featured in the next video, remember, all you have to do is comment down below. Again, thank you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one.